What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm back at it today with the C-Class Airship. With our most recent CTE build, DICE has given us some new variants when it comes to this ship. And originally in my first how-to video, I made mention that I would come back and revisit this if there were any new changes. And since those changes have arisen, I've decided to give you guys a little bit more in-depth on these new variants. If you're completely new to this whole new airship that's coming out with the second half of the Turning Tides DLC, be sure to go check that video in the annotations above. But if you've already had a brief run through on the very basic of the ship, I'm going to go into specifically the variants and specifically the driver side of each of these variants, as that is the biggest difference when it comes to this new C-Class airship. The first variant is called the Observer, and its first primary weapon, similar to what the L-Class destroyer has, you can call in a Dreadnought Barrage. You can do this by going into the first person mode, and then you can hit the left trigger button on your Xbox controller, and you will then get a better scoped view on the playing field and move that white little dot at the center of your screen over the desired area on the map. When you have chosen that area, you can hit the right trigger and you will call in a Dreadnought Barrage on that location. You'll see that location show up on your mini-map as a blue circle, and on the enemy player's mini-map it will show up as a red circle. Now, its second variant that you can swap through by hitting the Y button on the Xbox controller is the Demolition bombs that you can drop on enemy players down below. Again, this is another ability that you can only access through the first person mode as the driver of the C-Class airship. When you're in that first person mode, to get a better viewpoint on enemy players down below, you can hold the left trigger button and get another scoped view on players who are below you. And then, similar again to how you would hit the right trigger button on the artillery barrage, you can do the exact same thing here and hit the right trigger button, and that will drop these massive demolition bombs down on enemy players down below. Now, a new interesting feature that is only for this Observer variant is what is called the spotting camera. So in both of those cameras that we saw there, for the Dreadnought Barrage or for the Demolition Bomber, you can go into either of those cameras and you can maneuver them around the map and choose the area on the map you would like to take a snapshot with, and you can do this by hitting the left direction button on your Xbox controller. And by doing this, you will snapshot the actual playing field, and in that screen you will then spot enemy players who may be hiding on the map. So it's an easier way to spot maybe enemy players who you can't see, and that will hopefully give your teammates down below a better viewpoint on where these enemy players may be at, or as well help your teammates who are in your airship to be able to see those players and hopefully take them out in their turrets. So it's definitely a new and interesting ability that comes only specifically to this Observer air class. The second and last variant is called the Raider. And similar to the Observer variant, its first primary weapon is the Dreadnought Barrage. So you're going to access this the exact same way as I showed you before, by going into the first person mode, hitting your left trigger to get a better viewpoint on the map that you want to place this at, and then hitting the right trigger to call in that barrage. Now, its second primary weapon that you're going to swap to by using the Y button on your Xbox controller is what's called the Fragmentation Bomb. And this is a little bit weaker than the Demolition Bomb that the Observer has. However, though, unlike the 4 bombs that variant drops, this Fragmentation Bomb allows you to drop 16 bombs at a time. So it doesn't do quite as much damage on enemy vessels down below. So when it comes to this Raider variant, it makes up for that by being able to drop naval mines by hitting the left direction button on your Xbox controller. So when you do that, you'll drop 3 mines down below, and each time that ability refreshes, you can then drop a total of 4 sets of those mines and have them on the map at the exact same time. So you can have a total of up to 12 mines on the map to hopefully place in maybe specific choke areas where enemy ships might flow through and be able to run over them. So just keep in mind that if you drop that 5th set though, that very first set of 3 mines that you dropped will be canceled out and will be taken off the battlefield. And finally, DICE added some new visuals when it comes to this C-Class airship. So that's definitely pretty cool, and something you can expect to see when this comes out for the retail version of the game. Not quite sure yet if DICE is going to add a armor buff when it comes to this new vehicle, as it is right now pretty weak and not much of a relevant airship when it comes to the game. So that's still yet to be known, and hopefully they're able to make that work, as this airship definitely has some pretty interesting qualities when it comes to it. So we'll see what they end up doing here in the near future, as the projected date for this second 2 maps of Turning Tides, it's hopefully going to come out by the end of the month. So hopefully, again, that guys helps you push you guys in the right direction and gives you some clarity on the different variants when it comes to this new C-Class airship. But that's it for you guys today. Hope that helps you guys out. I am Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later. Peace.